Aho, buju indenoi makanadok, anin, Kagegabo indigenakaz, Mekanak indudem, Mekanak wajawing and dunjapa, Beshoga kabakang and danongom, Apijigo miigwech bizendawiyeg. And what I said there was a traditional Ojibwe protocol greeting. I said, hello, all of my relatives. My name is Kagegabo. I'm Turtle Clan. I'm a descendant of Turtle Mountain. I live close to Minneapolis today. And I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this live Ojibwe Word of the Day. This is something I look forward to doing every week. And that if you take a few moments out of your day to talk about, to discuss, to listen to Ojibwe and Anishinaabe Chippewa culture, language, history, philosophy, spirituality, ethics, I'm incredibly grateful for that. So, Apijigo miigwech bizendawiyeg. And today's word of the day has actually been a request. I've had several requests for this, and I did not readily know how to translate the phrase Black Lives Matter. This is one of those things from English to Anishinaabe to the Ojibwe language that sometimes as a second language learner and a second language speaker, I get hung up on. I'm like, I don't know what a speaker judgment would be on that phrase. How would they say this? And I saw this was shared with me, I believe through grassroots indigenous media. And the moment I saw it, I'm like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And so I thought I would go over part of the word, and we'll talk about what that phrase means. Apiitendaagozi. Apiitendaagozi. And that's a beautiful word. And there is a cultural point here that we have to discuss, though, when we're translating this phrase. Again, this is one of those, there's spirituality and culture and history embedded in this word, and this does not always readily translate into English, nor vice versa. So when we say Apiitenam, Apiitendaagozi, Apiitendaagozi, Apiitendan, all of these words, they literally mean I think about something to a certain extent. I'm going to unpack that for a moment. That apit, it means literally to a certain extent. And endagwad, it is thought of. Or he or she is. Apiitendaagozi, he or she is. Apiitenam, I think of someone. I think of someone in a certain way. Now, here's where the translation and the culture comes in. Often you would think, well, why not use ishpenam, to think highly of someone? Ishpaming, sometimes in the sky, in the heavens, highly. And why wouldn't you use that? They are thought highly of. And this one came from a fascinating conversation I had with Tobasanakwadoban, the late Tobasanakwa, Dr. Tobasanakwa Kinyo, while he was teaching a course at University of Minnesota on the etymology of the language. And he was discussing how that word ishpendizo, for him that was, he or she thinks highly of themselves. He or she has pride. And that is antithetical. It's in direct contrast to one of our sacred laws, Apiitendaagozi. Apiitendaagozi. I think lowly of myself. I think of myself, I do not exalt myself above my relatives. So they would never use that word ishpenam. They would say, I'm not worthy to think of someone highly. And in fact, I strive not to be better than you. I strive to be less than you. I strive to be your relative. I'm not seeking out eagle achievement. In my humility, I'm seeking out to be a good relative, because we're inextricably interconnected. We're inextricably linked there. And whatever happens to me is going to affect you. And whatever you do is going to affect me. So I'm not going to exalt myself above you. I'll never find joy or peace or balance doing that. So they wouldn't ever use that term ishpenam. Apiitendaagozi. He or she is thought highly of. Only the Manadu, only Kije Manadu, the spirit, the mystery, or Megazi, the eagle, can have that kind of opinion. For us, we can think to a certain extent. So what that's really saying is you'll notice in your travels and in your life, if you meet people who are thought to be really spiritual, holy people, you'll notice two things about them. One is that they rarely talk down about people. You'll never hear them gossip or speak poorly of them. But you'll also not hear them applaud someone or laud someone with a lot of praise. And that's where this word is coming in, Apiitendaagozi. I think about you to such a certain extent. And the spirit and all of the relatives and all of the atsokanak, the spirits, know all of these things that are so important about you. Why you are so important, why you are so treasured to all of our relatives, that I couldn't possibly know all of them. So therefore, I say I can only think to a certain extent. So, Apiitendaagozi, you are valued. You are thought of so highly that I can't express it from my pitiful way, from being humble. You are treasured, and your worth to all of our relatives it can't be described in words, so I can only speak to it in a certain extent. So when I saw this translation of Black Lives Matter, to say matter in Ojibwe, it matters, I didn't know that. I still haven't found that. But Apiitendaagoziwag, they are highly thought of. They are treasured. They are valued to such an extent. They are so important. So if we were to say that, the language we can't actually say, I don't know if we can say Black Lives Matters, but what we can say is Apiitendaagoziwag Mekadewizijig. Those who are black are treasured. They are valued. They are thought of in such an extent. And that isn't just a phrase in the language. I think that's the language reflecting a universal truth. So for those of you seeking out that word, and how the culture would describe how important our relatives are, how treasured they are, how highly thought of they are, I think that word Apiitendaagozi, Apiitendaagoziwag Mekadewizijig. Those who are black are treasured. They are thought highly of. They are valued to such an extent. And I really wanted to share that today. I really wanted to speak about what that word means and how beautiful it is. And we really don't even say, I'm proud of you. It's, I think so highly of you. I think of you to such an extent. And those lives and those people, but really those relatives. When we're using that term in Dinawe Makanadok, we're referring to everyone. And so there's a pity in having to use that phrase, but there's also, I think, a beautiful teaching behind it as well, that your lives are so treasured, and that your lives have such value. And I want to say to all of you, Apiitendaagozi Mekadewizijig. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this live Ojibwe Word of the Day. And again, if you know someone who is interested in the language, the culture, the history, the spirituality, the philosophy, the ethics, the linguistics, please feel free to like and share this video. Aho, Apiitendaagozi. Thank you again for listening. Dagasana and Guamasik. Please, all of you, do take care. And the spirits will decide when we see each other again.